Y'all ever have those tasks that you just don't want to do? You know you should do them, but you just don't do them? Pretty sure it's called procrastination. Stop laughing at me. I'm doing an intro. Your girl's been procrastinating today really badly.
I mean, I was gonna get back here and pop up and you put your butt right in my face. This is the procrastination station.
There's been a van next door backing up for like the last 5 hours. I've been hearing beep, beep, beep for 5 hours. Back to today's video. Back to your scheduled programming. We all know Fearfully Created fearfully procrastinates. So let's get productive. Productive as in let's tackle this daggone monstrosity of a vacuum cleaner. So this is my most favorite vacuum cleaner I've ever had. It is the best vacuum cleaner I've ever used in my entire 31 years on this planet. And when I say it really sucks up the dirt, it really sucks up the dirt. Every little inch of dirt that's in my carpet, this sucker gets, and you can tell by how it looks. Granted, I've never cleaned it because I've always been overwhelmed at the thought of cleaning it. I had to Google and YouTube how to clean this specific vacuum. I've obviously emptied it out and then wiped it down before, but I've never actually cleaned it. So I didn't even know this thing was a filter at the front of it. I didn't even know how to detach a lot of the things because Shane put this together for me because this is like a great big Lego, but look at that. Like it needed some work. There was stuff lodged in there. The filters, the spongy filters, they were gross. All the different areas needed a good sanitizing clean. So I took it apart. That's the first thing I did because I wasn't about to put the whole vacuum in the bathtub to wash it. But I took it apart. This is what it looked like. Look how many parts. I took it apart by myself. Now putting it together was a whole nother story. That required a lot of effort. It is literally a giant Lego. But I first started out by emptying out this area where all the crud gets into. It goes through all the filters and everything and lands here, and there's usually all sorts of things in there. Then I went in my bathroom because I didn't feel comfortable doing it in my kitchen sink, but even if I had felt comfortable doing it in my kitchen sink, I have dishes galore all day every day, so I didn't even have room to work in my kitchen to do this. So I brought it in here to the bathroom and I just washed every piece individually with my little green sponge daddy that I keep in my bathroom and some Dawn Power Wash. I sprayed every piece down. I mean down. I probably used way more than I should have, and you'll see I almost suds out my bathroom by doing it that way, but it was worth it because I needed that Dawn Power Wash to get into every crevices. I scrubbed in between every little area on the filters. I scrubbed the outside. I even scrubbed the filter cap. I was going all in while doing this. My filters were nasty because I had never washed them. I think you can replace these or wash them. I had never done either, so I just went in and hand washed them with the Dawn Power Wash. I got them really wet, and then I kind of rinsed out all the dust and gross stuff that would come out by itself. Then I went in with the Power Wash, and I just kind of kneaded it like you would knead sourdough, baby. I just kneaded it and then would rinse it off, and then went back and would knead it again, rinse it off, then went back and would knead it again, rinse it off. And I did that several times before I started seeing a major difference. I almost got all of the gray off of it by the end of like the knead and dough session. I did the same thing with the thin filter that I did with the chunky filter, but it totally wasn't necessary to use any more power wash because I was already sudsing myself out at this point. So I just used whatever was in the sink. I don't know if that's considered sanitary. Suds is suds, right? Suds is suds in a landfill. It's suds in a dishwasher. Suds is suds. So I just used the excess so I didn't completely suds me out of the bathroom. And I took my little green scrub daddy that I keep in the bathroom and just scrubbed it, did the same thing, repeated the process until it came out pretty clean. I took the big parts of the vacuum to the bathtub where I could easily clean it out. Now, if I had a water hose, I would have just took this sucker outside and would have squirted it down with the water hose and it would have been a done deal in half the time. But I don't have a water hose. I don't have a water hookup. So I came into the bathtub and kind of just maneuvered it in ways that I could, as best as I could, to get the water and the suds through all the crevices and stuff like that. I was over it before I started because it kind of felt like I was wrangling a copperhead, but I knew it needed to be done, so I just did it. When I got to the main contraption, I made sure that I put water through it first to get all that loose dust out of there. And you'll see how dirty the water was. It was like murky. It was swamp water. It's exactly what it was. Look at that. I can't. So I made sure to do a round of water. And then I went in with the Dawn Power Wash. And I scrubbed it down. I mean, in the middle, the little drum area. I don't know what it's called. All of that, I poured a ton of water and soap suds in there and got it squeaky clean. The Scrub Daddy made this process so easy because it's so flexible and it can get in all the weird areas. What I'm gonna do before I do my big gadgets like my vacuum cleaner, my carpet cleaner again, is I'm gonna get one of those bottle cleaners from Scrub Daddy that I have in my kitchen that gets into like skinny tumblers and stuff like that, and I'm gonna use that in areas of my vacuum like this that are kind of hard to get to. Because some of the dust was really hardened on there where it had never been cleaned, I just gave it a good shake. Like Neil McCoy said, I shook it to the left, shook it to the right. And then after I did that, I laid it all out to dry on my pretty fall porch that has just been done over. The bottom roller in my vacuum, it had more hair on it than Chewbacca and Bigfoot put together, and I know most of that is Binks. A lot of that's probably me too. But it also had a coating, a smooth coating of dust all over it. This part wasn't as bad, but I wanted to give it all a good wipe down and get all that hair out of there. There's probably an easier way to do this, but this is how I've done it my whole life, so I'm just comfortable doing it this way, and I'm just here making sure that y'all can see the dust. But I just take a scissor and kind of chop at it just blindly, and then I take my hand to any loose hair and I just pull it out. It's pretty satisfying whenever you see the big chunks like this right here come out. It makes it worth it because it is super satisfying, and it wouldn't be near as fun if I wasn't a 31-year-old who got satisfied by things gradually getting cleaned. I love that. Like, I love it when things dirty get gradually cleaned. So while it is not fun to go in and clean every orifice, especially when you struggle with attention to detail like I do, I suck at attention to detail. Like, I did a home tour the other day, a fall home tour, and there was a Lego on the riser on the table, and I didn't even know it till I was going to edit. And like, I looked at that thing. I was even talking about things sitting on that thing, and I did not see that Lego not once. So I suck at attention to detail. So it can get a little eye for me to go in and meticulously, that's the word I was looking for earlier, meticulously get all this stuff off here and get into little corners and stuff. But it makes it worth it when it becomes so satisfying to watch over while I'm editing. I flossed my wipe through that little, what is it, a Mario hose? It looks like the little hoses, the green hoses in the Mario games and Donkey Kong games. I flushed it through there, flossed it through there, and then just give it a good wipe down. It really didn't need it, but I gave it one anyway. Then the carpet cleaner, the dreaded carpet cleaner. So that is old carpet water. Dookie water is what I like to call it. That is the state of my brush area. And then the area you just saw me take off, sorry, my grammar, I know. But it was bad. Like, the reason that one area that I took off was so murky was because I had been cleaning my carpet with fabric softener. And you guys know how fabric softener coats things. That's why you can't, like, wash your towels in it and stuff. It'll coat it, and it's not as absorbent as it would be without that, if it was just, as if it was just washed in vinegar. So it coated the inside of this area right here, and it took me 500 Nil McCoy, shake it to the left, shake it to the right to get this clean. I had to go in and I had to let it sit for a while I cleaned the other parts, and let the hot water kind of just penetrate all that yuckiness from the fabric softener. And I still didn't get it all the way as clear as I wanted to, but at least it didn't look like, you know, that murky water. This part was a little gross too. I shook it to the left, shook it to the right. It actually has a drum in it that you can see right here. I'm about to pull out. I had no idea that came out of it, but it's like a floater, kind of, what I think is what it's called. So I got that out and washed that piece without the floater in it, and then washed the floater separately just to give it a good scrub down. And I let it dry separately too, that way I wasn't leaving water in there to mildew. I don't know if water actually mildews by itself, but just in case it does, I left it out and let it dry separately. When taking this apart the first time, I didn't know that this part came off until I went in and I was trying to figure out how in the world I was going to clean that area, and it actually comes off. I don't really know what the purpose of that is. I'm sure it's something engineer-wise that, I mean, you know, I don't know. I have no idea about that kind of stuff. But I took it apart and then brought it in here to the bathroom and scrubbed it really good, and could not figure out why this stuff was not getting off of this thing. I was like, man, that's a lot of dirt on it, and it's not coming off. I don't feel it like crusty or anything. What in the world? It's because it's stuck in the middle. Okay, like, I have some beef with Bissell on this. Why would you make this like this? What it is it's basically two pieces of plastic wedged together that will not come apart. Might as well have torched it together, and you're expected to get in that little bitty crevices right there, and you're expected to get all that junk out of that little bitty crevices. What? Like, could we have not thought of something better? I am genuinely confused. How am I supposed to get on the inside of this? So this right here isn't on the inside or the outside. Like, see, not on this side, not on this side. It's up in there with this little bitty crevice right there that you can't see, and I can't get into. And it looks like it's one piece. How am I supposed to get in here? Look at that. How am I supposed to get in there? I gotta go Google it. I've already YouTubed how to clean this because I had no idea. Now I really gotta go Google it and see how in the heck I get all that out of a teeny kind of crevices. That's like fitting me into a mouse hole. Like, it ain't happening. So you guys know how I never read the directions to any box I get that has something in it. Never. Well, this is how I should have, because it apparently came with a tool that I do not have and don't know where it's at, that goes up in it. Okay, this is stupid design though. Like why would you send me in? Why wouldn't you just make that removable? Like, they sent a special tool in the box that I would have found if I had read. Well, actually, it was Shane that unboxed this, if y'all remember. But if we had read that, we would have kept it, because that's the only way you can. Like, even cardboard's too thick for it. That's just, I feel like there were so many, I feel like there were so many other options that you could have taken. Like, you could have done, why would you do that? This is going to be a nightmare because this doesn't have a hook on it. So, like, you need a hook on it to, like, hook the stuff hook the stuff, you know what I'm saying? And this cardboard's just getting wet. Why don't you read the directions? Why do you always get yourself in things like this? I'm gonna have to go hunt something down because this is not working. I just don't get how they could come up with this design and say that's the one. That's the one we want to do. Like, and you can't tell me it's the only one that worked, because if we have face recognition on your phone, you can get on your iPhone and it recognizes you by your face. If we have all that stuff, you could have torched two pieces together that were removable so that I wouldn't have to be digging for Dookie with this zip tie. Object 2. Shay made me a weapon. It's literally a flower pick with a wire in it that he hooked for me. That doesn't fit in there. The moral of the story is don't throw away the extra stuff that comes in your boxes of big gadgets. Shane's figured out a hack. So if you push it all up to the top of the zip tie, it comes out this big hole up here. Look at you! Good job!
Yeah, you know, I used my noggin.
Looks better than it did. It was dark by that point because that's how long it took me to dig in that sucker. It was dark and I started working on the brush. I didn't have a whole lot to do because surprisingly there wasn't a whole lot in the brush, but there was a bunch of gunk and stuff around the bottom of this carpet cleaner. So I wiped it down really, really good. Then I flipped it over and wiped down all those areas which were really gross. I'm talking caked on something other. I don't know what it was. I have no idea what it was, but the dust from the bottom here didn't hold a candle to the grime and the gunk that was on the top of the carpet cleaner. It was really bad. There was this one little red filter area. You couldn't hardly even see that it was red because it had so much gunk on it. Like, it's that one right above my hand there. You see all that gunk build up? That's actually a red filter that you're supposed to be able to see, but I never cleaned it or took that gunk out of there. So you can see how grimy and gunky it actually is. All that stuff I'm pulling off of there, it was supposed to be red the whole time. I'm thinking all the buildup that was on this area was from that fabric softener. I probably won't be using the fabric softener in my carpet cleaner again. Maybe the scent beads. A bunch of y'all have said I could mop my floors with Tide pods, like Tide detergent. So I wonder if I popped a pod in there. I'm not going to try, obviously, because I've already messed my carpet cleaner almost up to the point of no return. But I wonder if I tried that or like some Tide powder in it, if it would work. Now comes the fun part of fixing all this stuff that I took apart and trying to put it together. Thankfully, I had my kiddos. Jay helped me so much. She helped so much while I was trying to like put together the vacuum cleaner and stuff. The carpet cleaner wasn't so hard because it only had like 3 parts really. So I knew exactly where to put those. I knew how to put those on. But the vacuum cleaner, I forgot completely. Like, it was like a big old puzzle. I knew where to put these, obviously, because I know that I can't put the top part on it unless those are there. But when it came to everything else, I was like, especially the hoses and stuff like that, I was like, oh snap, what have I done? So I mix matched them until they finally started clicking into place. And when they started clicking into place, I knew I was on the right track. Next up was my air filter area. You could see how bad that was. I have a reminder on my phone. You guys told me to put a reminder on my phone when it comes to the monthly time to change this out. And then also I have some of the best friends on the planet in these comments, because y'all will literally wait a whole month and tell me every single time, Marina, it's time to change out your air filter. Marina, it's time to change out your air filter. And like, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. That y'all would even take into consideration my monthly schedule when it comes to my air filter. It just makes me, I love you guys, seriously. What would I do? I don't know if I can make it without y'all. So I'm wiping down the area around the air filter. It was really gross. And then I put a new air filter in because it was way time. I think it was like 5 days past when my alarm went off on my phone. And I blame my silence area on my iPhone because I flick it without even realizing sometimes. And then sometimes I do it on purpose and then forget to flick it back. So I blame it. But I took this to the bathtub courtesy of y'all telling me I could do this. I couldn't lay it all the way flat because my bathtub wasn't wide enough, but it kind of gave me the area to really work with this stuff and go get in the crevices with my scrub daddy and stuff. It took a while doing it this way because these things are sharp. I about tore up my hand doing this the wrong way. I was going back and forth the wrong way, and like my fingers are sore, really sore from doing it that way. So there's a particular way you got to do it in order to keep your hands from getting shredded. But it took a hot minute. I worked from the top down. So I went to the top and I would get all the dust and dirt off of it. Then I would go down to the next area. Then I would go down to the next. And I did it sort of in columns. And then I flipped it over and did it the same way on the other side. I'm sure y'all could tell from the beginning of this video when I was emptying the contents of my vacuum into the trash can that my trash can needed a good scrub down. So I scrubbed the top of it and every little crevice, and then the inside and outside of the trash can itself. Got it really good scrubbed because I don't think I had ever scrubbed my trash can. I had wiped it off and stuff, obviously, but I hadn't ever just got in there and scrubbed it. Once again, I would take this outside if I had a water hose, but I didn't. I would like to get one of those sprayers that go into the shower for times like this. I think I could use that. I know it's like a shower head you're supposed to use to shower yourself, but hey, that jet setting would really get the grime off. So I may do that. I may get a shower head and get a jet setting and use the jet setting while I'm cleaning stuff like this. But I cleaned the inside and the outside. I actually had a sticker still on here from the time that I bought it. Yeah, it's been on there for months. So there's that. Since I was already in the bathroom and I had done so much cleaning in this bathtub, I went ahead and scrubbed down the bathtub itself with the same scrub daddy, because I mean, I was at first going to change it and I was like, that's kind of gross because it's cleaned all this other stuff, but then I thought about all the butt water that gets in the bathtub anyway, and I was like, you know what, it really ain't a big deal. So I used the same scrub daddy, cleaned up my bathtub really good, and then while I was in there, I wiped down the toilet, just did a maintenance wipe, a little maintenance swishy swashy with the scrub thing in the actual toilet, because it hasn't been long since I cleaned this bathroom, but I wanted to stay on it and I didn't want it to get as bad as it was whenever I cleaned this the other day. I really didn't want it to get that bad, so I just did a maintenance clean on it. And also it was a little untidy and stuff from all the water that had been splashed. I dried all that up, and all the dirt and dust was still all over the sink, so I got it wiped down really good and got the inside of the sink sanitized and wiped down with a Clorox wipe. That way that none of the grime and dust would, you know, I was about to say infect that area, contaminate that area, I don't know, but I wiped it down with a wipe. And then I had splashed a bunch of suds and water while cleaning all the parts to the vacuum up on the mirror, so I did a quick wipe down on the mirror with my spray away glass cleaner, which is my favorite glass cleaner on the planet. I stand by Method products, but that is one thing that I like better than the Method window spray and the glass spray is the spray away spray. It's way better. It will clean your lungs because it is that strong, and I say that all the time because I want to remind you guys, like, if you have asthma or anything, I don't know if it would be the right option for you, but it does work really well. And I changed out the trash because the trash was getting full while I was in here, and then I was pretty much done in the bathroom. The floors were still okay, so I didn't feel the need to go in and deep clean with a mop or anything, but since it was in so much use, I went ahead and maintained it. Don't forget to stick around if you want to see some of our friends' fall decor in their houses. I'm going to put another slideshow of their pictures after the outro, but thank y'all for hanging out with me. I hope this encourages you to get the daggone thing done because you feel so accomplished once it's over. I hope y'all have a blessed morning, even not, whatever it is, wherever you're at. Know that I love you, but Jesus loves you more. I'll see y'all later.
As a kid, I used to live out by a lake with lightning bugs collecting sticks and secret handshakes. I was invincible then, my heart so pure I had no fear. And those were the years that I hold so dear. And it felt so right having you by my side. I would never waste your time on mine. Do you ever think about the time when we were young? Everything we dreamt of being, we had so much fun. I don't wanna lose your love. I've been wishing on the stars above. If I go back in time far enough, I know that I would find you. Those lazy days where we would sit out on the pier. The sky was wide open and everything was crystal clear. Anything that you would tell me, I just couldn't